Hello and welcome back to Goats. This week hosted from, finally, a boat. Why? We'll come back to that. First of all, I have to introduce you to my two good acquaintances and co-hosts, Mork and Vinny. What has been going on with you?
Well, I'm Vinny, and not much.
I'm Mork, and I watched someone eat their breakfast today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of a dystopian future, science. 9 times out of 10, it's all gravy. It's just a good old bunch of nerds coming up with some nerd shit that makes our lives better. But sometimes the nerds try and get revenge on us for calling them nerds by inventing something that might seem good, but actually it turned out to be a right fucker. Whether it's the moral implications or the physical ramifications, these discoveries have permanently shaped the world for the worst. And I'm not just talking about Mork being born. But which...
Yeah.
But which is... Thank you. But which is the worst? Well, with such a big topic up for debate, there's only two... Vinny being born or Michael being born, which has made my life worse. No. Well, with such a big topic up for debate, there was really only two people we could get in. Obviously, it's you two. Who wants to go first?
I want Vinny to go first.
I want me to go first as well. I'll let it happen.
Yeah, I'd like it if Vinny went first.
Alright,
Mine's
well-
a bombshell. So I feel like
Literally?
I don't know what Vinny's. It's crazy. So I just feel like maybe I don't know what Vinny's is, but I think mine might be like the most depressing one. So I thought maybe we'll get something light out of the way and we'll end on a bang.
Mine's really not
that's
light.
Vinny's is light.
But I think
What was that other one?
What?
Do you remember we did one before that was just really depressing? Which one was
The
that?
serial killer one.
White serial killer.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck me. That was bad.
Hey, the question was, what was the worst serial killer of all time? I got the worst serial killer of all time. Whether you liked
You
it
got
or
him
not.
by a mile away.
Yeah.
You were just like, fucking, hold my beer. This guy is disgusting.
The thing is,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer was pretty bad, but I mean, he's a sound guy compared to this fella, isn't he?
I'd let him look after my kids compared to that guy. He was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Definitely let him look after your kids compared to him. Fucking eat them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
come on,
Vinny, whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer.
Nazi Germany.
Oh, God. Oh,
Okay,
no.
so I haven't actually started off with Nazi Germany, but I've done the next best thing. I think I do this way too often in my scripts, but anyway. The early 20th century saw some of, if not the biggest change in not only society within Europe and America, but also within the fields of science and medicine. The First World War brought us terrifying new ways to kill ourselves in the form of machine guns, flamethrowers, poison gas, and tanks. But the Second World War is when scientific innovation really kicked into overdrive, with its most impressive and horrifying discovery being how to split open an atom. Now, although this discovery would lead to the forever looming existential threat that is a nuclear holocaust, I'd argue that the other outcome of this, that being the harnessing of nuclear power for energy, is actually a very useful and positive thing for humanity, I think.
Incredible.
Underrated, I would say. Underrated.
Underappreciated.
It's something like 80% of France's national grid runs off of nuclear power.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They've got the largest power station in the world.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Britain will have it soon, though.
Oh, are they going to top it?
Yeah, the new one in Hinkley Point is 2 of the same type of reactor that there's one of in France.
So after the war, you had this massive boom in several scientific fields, medicine notwithstanding. And it is within the field of medicine where our story begins. Belgian chemist Dr. Paul Janssen was working tirelessly with his team to produce a new painkiller. He and his team would have some initial success in 1957 with the creation of phenylpyridine. I'm going to say that's it. Phenylpyridine. Phenylpyridine. But when 1960 rolled around, Dr. Paul Janssen and his team of chemists really came into their own commercially and artistically when they managed to discover and synthesize the wonder drug. And you know it. Fentanyl. There it is. There's my pick.
Yeah.
So you probably heard about how bad fentanyl is in the news as of late, and we will get onto that later on. But I've got a lot of time to kill because I can't just read off fentanyl death statistics for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bore you with the history of fentanyl. So by the time of its initial discovery, fentanyl truly was a marvel in the world of pharmaceutical medicine. It's not just a regular painkiller. It is around 100 times more powerful than morphine. And at the time, it was the most powerful opioid in the world. Over the next decade, fentanyl was rolled out across Europe and America, but due to its extreme potency, it was often combined with other far less potent painkillers to offset the balance and to try and reduce the risk of abuse. Although that kind of changed in 1972, it just finally became legal in its pure form. It would be used widely within cardiac and vascular surgery, and due to how strong it was, not much was actually needed, and so costs were very minimal. That being said, incidents of fentanyl overdose during the 70s were being reported, albeit in pretty small numbers at this point. But from 1979 onwards, many of these overdoses were being attributed to off-brand versions of the drugs, which were synthesized in illegal drug labs. The bad effects of this wonder drug were starting to show. Although during the late 1980s, an American company started working on a version of fentanyl that could be used on patients with chronic pain who had long since become tolerant to other forms of opioids. In fact, to this day, this form of fentanyl remains the most successful fentanyl product and even earned a place on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Really?
Fucking hell.
What's it called?
I didn't write that down, so I don't know.
All right. Fentanyl Pro.
They use Fentanyl Plus. They used this word a couple times, but I just didn't bother writing it down because I didn't want to have to figure out. I didn't want to have to learn pharmaceutical science, basically.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'll just give you the condensed version because I only know the condensed version. However, the list of people looking to abuse the drug started to grow and grow. The 2000s saw a rise of fentanyl-related deaths and addictions, with the FDA reporting that doctors were inappropriately prescribing the drug, as well as finding out that more than 80% of patients using a particular brand of the chemical didn't even have a chronic illness to begin with. But it wasn't until the 2010s when fentanyl really started to become the massively destructive force we know it now as it is today. The problem with fentanyl was that gangs, which made their money from peddling drugs, realized that they could cut costs hugely with their product if they were to just cut it all with fentanyl, especially if it's like if they're selling heroin, because it's also an opioid. If you just put a tiny bit of fentanyl in, that's a super powerful opioid you got, and you don't have to, spend more money.
Put as much heroin in there, yeah.
Heroin's more expensive than fentanyl to produce, so might as well just make it half fentanyl. Meaning people who were looking to take a relatively harmless pill from some dodgy-looking bloke at the back of a club were in fact taking 3 or 4 times the lethal dosage of fentanyl. Not only that, but in 2016, Time magazine reported that a new fentanyl analog, which was around 100 times stronger than the original drug, was now being sold on the streets. To put that into perspective, this new analog of fentanyl is now 10,000 times stronger than morphine.
But how? This is what I don't understand with the fentanyl thing. Like, so how can anybody take that and not just instantly die? Are they literally so, like, the resistance to the drugs is so fucking high that doesn't kill them? Like, I don't get it.
I mean,
Or do they just die? Is that the problem? Like, you just take it and you die and no one cares?
well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if in like small doses, like a medical dose, for example, for people who do have like, have like a chronic disease and they need something for like the pain, it's fine. I mean,
It's fine.
Yeah, it's just like taking like codeine or morphine. It's like it's definitely addictive, and there's a room for abuse, as you could probably very easily imagine.
Yeah.
But
how is anybody taking this 10,000 times fentanyl pill and like
I think
not dying instantly?
you take a very very small amount. I think is the thing. Also, if I remember rightly, the thing with fentanyl is heroin. Like, I think a heroin, like, it's not even really a trip. Like a heroin, what do you call that?
A go.
A go of heroin lasts like quite a long time.
Right, yeah.
I think it lasts like 8 hours or 12 hours or something like that.
Wow.
Whereas I'm pretty sure fentanyl it exits your system a lot quicker, which is why it's like very, very popular with dealers as well, is because you have to keep coming back. It doesn't last as long.
Oh,
so if you can build up a
and I think
resistance to it, you can take it off more often.
Yeah, and also, like, if you imagine if you've got a really high heroin resistance, like heroin tolerance, and then you're getting that like laced with fentanyl, and then it's like building and building. And I think the idea is that you can just have like a very, very small amount and get absolutely fucking banged for like a really long time. Like not for a very long time, but get like banged and then just keep doing it. But,
fucking hell.
Yeah. According to US government statistics, around 64,000 Americans died from drug overdoses just in 2016. And 20,000 of those were due to fentanyl. And it is like, I saw this graph, and it is very much majority, like the significant majority. Nothing comes close. I think the next closest was just like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just heroin, but like not by. It was like a tenth of the size of fentanyl. It was insane.
Yeah.
This is.
Well, I saw
Sorry.
When I was in America, I don't know if I said this at the time, but I saw they had these big signs up because there's a huge fentanyl epidemic in Los Angeles, and they had a sign up that was like, young people between the 1 in 5 deaths of young people between 18 and 25 is fentanyl related in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I have
that is crazy.
Statistic that I've written down.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not the same one. That is insane. A fifth. That is. I think it was
wild.
Just car crashes, like normal. Like now we're supposed to
car crashes, falls, like all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
it's nuts.
Yeah. So as you spoke about, this is basically what's known as the third wave of America's opioid crisis, which I'm pretty sure is still going on today. I think it's still very much
must be.
swing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, the first, fun fact: the first celebrity to be taken is the first celebrity for their life to be squashed early, relentlessly by fentanyl.
Is this guy bad? Is this a bad person? Is that why we're allowed to joke about it?
No,
like Saddam Hussein.
No, it was Prince. I don't think he's a bad person, but yeah, Prince died in 2016, I think, believing he took a pill, believing it was Xanax or something similar, and it was fentanyl, and he died. I think in the backseat of like his limo or backseat of like the car that he was being driven around, and he just collapsed.
That was the year of all the deaths, wasn't it?
Going back to Mork's point, it is a bit like, what's in it for a dealer to just give you a pill full of fentanyl? Like that's where it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what?
Addictive, and they're not setting out to to kill people because that's their
They
custom.
want to give them just the right amount so they survive and they can come back again and again and again.
But I just don't think they care that much. I don't think they.
So they might chop it up and be like, oh, fuck it, that one will do, and some are stronger than others, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And some people have different, people have different tolerances. And
Yeah, exactly.
Oftentimes, like, dealers don't know what they're actually selling as well. They're just given it. They just buy a boatload of whatever drug they have. They're told it's MDMA or something, and then they go off and sell it, thinking, yeah, this is MDMA. Like, obviously, like, why wouldn't it be? And then people fucking die.
All depends if you've eaten that day, doesn't it?
In 2021, the US reported fentanyl was responsible for 80% of overdose deaths for those under the age of 24, which is the sort of similar fact.
Yeah.
80%. Jesus Christ, man. And since 2016, more people have died from fentanyl than any prescription opioids, which is crazy because they get, they sell them like candy in America, don't they?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I picked fentanyl. It killed a lot of people. It's killing a lot of people still to this day. It's even made it to Europe. I've heard stories of dealers apparently sell it in Europe now. So yeah, that's
Scary.
Yeah, it's fucked, doesn't
That's
it?
fentanyl.
Yeah,
Don't do drugs, kids, because it might be fentanyl and kill you.
yeah. That's
Jesus, I mean,
fair advice, really.
that is a terrible, terrible scientific discovery. I feel like, it's one of those ones where
Terrible.
when you look at it from the outside, like the moment you say like, oh, they were trying to find this really strong painkiller, you're like, oh no.
Uh-oh.
Like you can see where it's going immediately, but like, how are they to know? But yeah, I mean, I have seen like in America, like I drove down Skid Row and that was the most fucking eye-opening and horrible thing I've ever seen. Like, people like fucking zombies, man. Like, yeah, it's ravaging the US and it's fucking awful. Have you ever watched Soft White Underbelly, the YouTube channel? It's a guy who has a studio on Skid Row and he will like interview anyone who wants to talk to him.
What is Skid Row? Sorry, say again.
Skid Row is like the
Your pants.
it's like the streets. So in America they don't move homeless people along. So it's like Los Angeles
It's the
is like
streets where they're
biggest
all the
homeless
homeless people.
community.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a tent city. And like
Yeah.
you just see people like it's crazy. Like you just see people like you see people and you can't understand how they're stood up because they're like literally like lolling, but they're like upright, just like in the street, like on 2 feet, just like literally just fucked, and they look like zombies, man. It's terrifying. But yeah, Soft White Underbelly is a YouTube channel where this guy interviews people, and he'll like interview literally anyone. Like he's interviewed like fentanyl addicts, like a lot of fentanyl addicts, and they talk about it. There's this really savage one where this kid admits that he like stole his mum's like what's it called, chemotherapy treatment pills to sell for fentanyl. Stuff like that. Like it's
Savage.
really,
Yeah.
like it's, and he's like 17, I think, and then like it's really bad. But yeah, it's a really good YouTube channel though. I'd really recommend it. Some of them are dark. Like if you read the title and you think that could be quite horrible, it will be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that because that sounds familiar. Of just some guy with a camera just going around like talking to people who live in tents outside of in like LA. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. He all the thumbnails are in black and white. It's like they're fucking crazy. But yeah, there's some really interesting and like really amazing ones as well. And then some of them are just like disgusting.
Savage.
Anyway, that was really good. I feel like that is a tough one to beat in the sense of like it's a very purely scientific discovery that I think has had a much worse impact than a lot of the kind of big hitters that you might imagine. Like I don't know, Vinny, Mork, I don't know what you've picked. You might be able to convince me otherwise if this is what you picked. But actually, interestingly, in the run up to this, I was watching a really interesting video about like nuclear weapons and nuclear fallout because obviously the new Fallout series is coming out, and I don't think I realized how. Okay, this is contextually going to sound silly, but
I already know what you're going to say.
no. So I think because in your head, a nuclear blast or something like that is like the end of days. It's like an apocalyptic event. I didn't really realize that actually, like if a nuclear blast went off in central London, I would actually be okay where I am right now.
Of course.
Like I didn't know that. Like I thought it would like level the whole city.
But it depends how big it is.
It depends how big it is, but it also depends on where it's dropped. So the ones, this is really off topic, but basically what I found out is that the odds of there being like large scale nuclear fallout is actually quite minimal, because the most efficient way to destroy like a city is to explode an atomic blast in the air, and then it pushes a shockwave down, which like levels all the buildings and like knocks everyone to pieces.
Yeah, and also most of the bombs nowadays are hydrogen bombs, which don't have nuclear fallout.
Really?
And that.
Yeah.
And also, the ones that produce fallout are the ones that are surface impact, but they kick up a huge amount of irradiated like debris, but they don't injure anywhere near as many people. So it would be much more likely that it would be like a big flat, which is obviously still really bad. But like, I know it sounds really bad, but they're not as enormous as you think. They are massive.
Isn't the problem the fact that there's multiple countries with many nuclear missiles, and if one of them were to go off in one country, that country's probably going to retaliate with a few of their own, and then everyone's dead. That's the whole thing, because there's enough nuclear missiles in just America and Russia to level the entire northern hemisphere like 5 times over.
Yeah. That is that's the thing, is like when they're
But the thing is, have you seen Fallout?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it.
I've just finished watching the series, and the thing is with it all, which is crazy, but you watch it and you see like the world and stuff, and you're like, bring it on. Let's go. Let's like have an adventure.
We had this conversation before.
You're a fucking idiot if you still actually believe this, brother. You are a fucking moron. If you think it's going to be all fun and like big mech suits and everyone's having a great time being ghouls or whatever. In fact, no, the Fallout series is fucking depressing as shit. I mean, I haven't seen the series, but I played the games. They're like really dark and disturbing and fucked up. And that's why they're fun to play around in. But I don't want to live on that shit.
Tell you what, here's my genuine take on the adventure thing. Is like, I bought a slice of the adventure, and it's great. It's the most fun thing I've ever done. But
what, living on a boat?
Yeah, it's long as fuck. Like I have
zombies in there, like mutants and shit.
No, I don't, and it's still quite tiring. Like I still like some days I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to get water, and water's like 3 miles up the road. My boat goes at like half a mile an hour, and like those, you think, it'll give me so much purpose. I'll just be like living off the land, and you're actually like
shitting in a bucket. Is not that fun.
Yeah, genuinely, that's the thing. That's the thing with Fallout. It's all fun and games until you're shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, but you do get to go around blasting people.
With what guns? Everyone's dead. You're dead.
No, I'm fine, mate.
You have like 6 tumors on your ball sack. Like you are dying very soon, and not a fun death, if that exists.
No. Oh, why are you ruining my dream?
Also, no, there aren't any guns, and like it's not like in America where you get to like run around with an assault rifle. Like you can have some sort of fucking air rifle that can't.
They'll make them, they'll make all new ones. Like they make all this crazy shit.
A baton.
Fucking running around with a BB gun and a police baton, trying to fucking
fight mutants,
pepper spraying mutants.
Benny Hill music.
I will use force against you. Anyway, right.
Giant scorpions, yeah.
Do you know what I did watch? Actually, I watched that film Civil War. Watch it; it's incredible, amazing. Anyway, let's take a nice little break from Vinny's horrible scientific discovery that fucking has ended the lives of millions and ruined the lives of millions more, and talk about something a little bit more fun. So, as a bit of a juxtaposition, to remember the lighter side of life, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the positives that have come through scientific discoveries and have a little chat fucking hell, that's blindingly bright. And have a little chat about the scientific discoveries that have saved the most lives. Now, I got this list from the World Economic Forum. And it's fairly
I thought you were going to
accurate.
say BuzzFeed then.
I got this list.
This list was from Watch Mojo's top 10.
Yeah. Anime betrayals. No, no. I believe the World Economic Forum is a pretty, certified situation, but I don't know for sure, so don't at me if it's wrong. But here's what I'm going to do. It's very similar to what Vinny did last week. I'm going to give you 2 discoveries, and you've got to tell me which one you think has saved the most people.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, Vinny, you're going to go first because Mork, no, other way around. Sorry, Mork, you're going to go first because Vinny, you went first in the talk bit.
Fucking suck on that, Vinny.
Oh no. The smallest amount of power has gone to your head. I get to go first in the middle.
I am the ruler.
It's literally, it's like it reminds me of that bit from Peep Show where Mark's talking about how he's going to be Jeremy's boss, and he's like,
yeah.
"What does he say?" He's like, "Do this, Jeremy. Do this, Jeremy. Suck my cock, Jeremy." And he's like, "Oh."
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Your first 2 discoveries are insulin and sunscreen. Which do you think has saved more
Insulin.
people? You're right, but not by as much as you think. Sunscreen has saved an estimated 10 million people. Insulin, 15 million.
Sunscreen's a hard one to put a number on, though, I feel.
It is. But they did it at the World Economic Forum, so good on them.
Well, fair play then.
Vinny, your question. That's a point to Mork. You've got to remember your own points.
Okay, I got 10 points.
Crazy
Vinny,
voice.
what has saved more people, insulin or radiology?
What is radiology? Just the study of radioactive materials?
No, like radiotherapy and stuff for like
Yeah,
cancer
radiotherapy
treatments and
and
stuff.
Right. Let's just go for radiology.
Ooh, you're correct. Radiology has saved an
Ooh.
estimated 25 million people since it was discovered.
It's
Mork.
not, isn't it?
Well, I know some of them.
There's 8 billion people. Like, it's only saved 25 million from
Yeah, but it
cancer. I thought
doesn't-
it'd at least be 100.
It's not 100% success rate, is it? And also,
No, true.
not everyone gets cancer or like cancer.
There's
that you
also
can't
some
just snip.
Yeah,
There's
true.
some surprising big jumps as well. Like some of them are much larger. So radiology, Mork, versus organ transplants.
Organ transplants. Oh, I feel like, again, maybe organ transplants, not that many people need an organ transplant. Although a lot of people do, but is it as many as cancer? I'm going to go with radiology.
You're correct. It is radiology 25 million, organ transplants 6 million. So,
right,
Vinny, that's back to you. So, once again, back once again for radiology versus pasteurization.
What's that?
What's pasteurization?
You hate pasteurization, don't you,
what
sir?
do
Because
to
it's about
milk?
milk and that.
Pasteurization is where it's the heating of milk to boiling point so that it no longer contains dangerous
Harmful
bacteria.
Have you ever had unpastured milk?
No, and I never want to. It's fucking stupid. There's nothing
It
in it
makes
worthwhile.
poo-poo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
It's
allergic
not
to it
good.
anyway.
Oh yeah, true. But apparently
It's
quite good.
not. Why?
Oh, I
That's
hate milk.
Straight from the other. You don't like milk?
No, gross.
What?
I don't mind milk,
Animal
but like,
fluid.
You know what? I went on a date with this girl who said that she didn't like milk, and I thought that was the weirdest thing. And she said it's because she thinks it would taste like bone.
Oh god, no.
Yeah,
That is
I was
fucking stupid.
That's even weirder.
Yeah.
That's way weirder. No, I would drink unpasteurized milk from a cow running around a field looking all happy, but I'm not going to drink like unpasteurized, like, because the reason they pasteurize milk is because like dairy cows are like full of like mastitis, their tits are like full of pus, like it's not a good vibe. Like you don't. There's a
free
reason they
range
call it.
cow.
I drink from a free range cow's like unpasteurized milk, but I would.
You drink
not
unpasteurized milk
worth
from a
it.
human.
Well, you do, but
Probably
No, I
don't
mean
need
you
to
would,
pasteurize
like you
it.
would now, wouldn't you?
would I?
Luxury milk.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
would. I mean, not any human.
Luxury milk.
Luxury milk.
Anyway, Vinny, milk or medicine? What's better?
What-
Yeah,
what-
pa-
was the-
pas-
was the- Sorry.
pasteurized milk or radiology.
Oh, you're still on radiology. I'll just pick the new one, pasteurized milk.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck you and your game theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pasteurized milk. So pasteurized milk has saved 250 million people.
Wow,
That's more like it.
that's way bigger
Yeah.
than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we're getting on to some biggies. So Mork, back to you.
Boogie.
So Mork, you're on 2 points. Vinny on the 1 point, I think.
It's the 10 crack commandments. What?
Vinny, no Mork. Pasteurization
Yeah.
versus blood transfusions.
Or blood transfusions, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. So pasteurization 250 million, blood transfusions 1 billion.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Transfusions are like the key thing to save
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is an interesting one. This next one, blood transfusions, Vinny, or anesthesia.
Well, surely, I don't mean to help Vinny, but surely anesthesia saves every single person's life who goes in for an operation. Because if you're having your lungs removed and you're not unconscious and stuff, are you really going to live?
Yeah, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Just do what they used to do
I mean,
back
they-
in the good old days. Get a bit of wooden block to bite on for the pain.
Just do it
and then-
real quick.
Yeah, and then hold them
Those-
down, like strap them
I
down
don't-
so they can't move.
I don't think those were the good old days.
I think those people quite often
All
went to
died.
shock. Also,
Yeah, they
have you
didn't
ever seen
die,
those?
surely.
A lot of them did. Have
You
you not
die of
heard about
shock,
those
yeah.
things? About those? Yeah, you die of shock. People. That's like what kills people. People die
Yeah.
of shock a lot.
That's
in,
why
like,
they
car
say
accidents.
there's that old adage: never jump out of a cupboard at your grandmother. That's
So
what they say.
that's dying of surprise. That's a different thing. Shock.
mean?
There's like medical shock.
What do you mean jump out of your cupboards?
No,
How the fuck do you
Vinny,
fit
stop
in a
listening.
cupboard?
Vinny, don't listen to him. He's setting you off. That's a nonsense tale. The shock thing is real, but it's not like being shocked. It's like it's like a physical response, not just
Right,
like being made jump. Anyway.
I'll pick anesthesia because it's
Anastasia.
the new one. Anesthesia.
Anesthesia. No, well, just fuck you with your fucking game theory because it's blood transfusions. Anesthesia. It's only saved 50 million people.
No,
Yeah.
no, it hasn't.
It's a
No.
lie.
Right. Okay. The Green Revolution, which is farming advancements versus antibiotics.
That's a good question because that's tricky. Nah, you can eat rotten vegetables in there, can't you? It's all right. Antibiotics.
You're wrong. The Green Revolution has saved 1 billion people. Antibiotics have only saved 200 million. Fucking small fry, mate. Who says it's
Surely-
even important? Right. Vinny.
Surely the agricultural revolution is what even birthed civilization in the first place.
Yeah, but
Well, no. This is the what's it called? The Green Revolution, which is the like modern
pesticides.
agriculture, like
Oh,
yeah,
right.
like agriculture,
Okay,
like you know,
okay.
pesticides,
Get the
mechanization, that sort of thing.
diseases away and stuff.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Right. Okay, Vinny. Toilets versus water chlorinization.
That's a
I'll
tough
just
one.
go with clean water because it sounds better.
Wrong. Toilets. Toilets have saved 1 billion people. Water chlorinization has only saved 175 million. Fucking bullshit.
I get
Right.
a lot. Yeah, to be fair, like cholera did kill a lot of people, and wasn't that from lack of like a plumbing system, right?
Pooping on the
Right. Do you
floor
want to do
and stuff,
another
yeah.
one?
Sure.
Or are you happy with
Yeah.
4? Okay. Right, we'll do another one each then.
Okay. I'm still 3-2 up, I think.
Okay, this
You're
is.
winning.
I'm going to some smaller ones that are a little bit more. Ooh.
Niche.
So, the realization that smoking was bad for you, so anti-smoking efforts, or HIV/AIDS treatment and prevention.
AIDS.
Wrong. Smoking. Smoking saved 8 million people. HIV and AIDS 15 million.
Oh, yeah, but I just felt like my logic was because like
Wait.
the smoking thing's all well and good saying, "Oh, stop smoking now," but if you've been smoking 40 years, it don't really matter.
Wait. You just said smoking was 8 million and HIV was 15, and you said Mork was wrong for picking HIV.
Yeah, what saved more people?
Yeah, what?
HIV, sorry, yeah.
You're a terrible quiz master.
I'm not, I'm making it.
I know. I forfeit this quiz. I leave
I've won anyway.
before I've lost. I leave before. Technically, I haven't lost.
No,
Technically,
no,
it's
that's-
fantastic.
no. That's his game.
I give up.
Right, let's do one more.
Okay, one more.
This is actually a really
Lose
interesting
of
one.
dignity, Vinny.
Kidney dialysis or CPR.
Oh, that is an interesting one.
Both came in the same year, 1957, which I think is quite interesting.
Hasn't CPR killed more people than it saved? Was that
No,
CPR?
that's one of those bullshit things
It
people
doesn't
say.
kill people. You might crack a rib, but it does save your life. Yeah.
Was the other one kidney?
Dialysis.
I don't really know what that is, so I'm going to pick it.
Yeah, you're right. It's kidney dialysis is when your kidneys fail. You can have your blood filtered
Cleaned
by a
out
machine.
with a machine. Yeah.
Ah, like an animal.
No, that's
No.
no.
Not like an enema.
Would you have an
An enema is when you get.
Would you have an unpasteurized milk enema?
That's how hippies die. That is how a hippie would die.
Kinky hippie.
Yeah.
No, so CPR saved 5 million people. Kidney dialysis saved 9 million.
I was
right.
I was kind of expecting that one of the things you were going to say in the quiz to be like splitting of the atom or like the nuclear bomb, because there are estimated lives saved is way more than the lives that were taken in
Nah.
Fukushima
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
Nagasaki. Fukushima, that's the more
Or-
recent
or-
place.
Paralympic-
Hiroshima and
no,
Nagasaki.
Hiroshima.
Yeah. Fukushima was a power plant.
Because that would have been, I think that would have been a pretty cool one. Because I think it was
Yeah.
they do reckon it saved way
Nah, it
more
saved
lives
more.
than it
Oh, yeah.
ended.
Thanks, Vinny. That was really interesting. That was a great little tidbit of information. What I'd like now is a long bit of information from Mork on what he thinks is the worst scientific discovery of all time.
Well, as Vinny will tell you, this one is actually pretty hard to choose because what?
Come on, mate, you run out of time.
I have said about 6 words. It's pretty hard because in general, science is a pretty good guy, and most of the discoveries made are for the better and progression of humankind. So trying to find something bad that science has discovered is a really hard task. However, I did find one thing. Now, cast your mind back to good old 1921. World War One is over, and World War Two hasn't actually started yet.
You.
The world is in a good place. Or is it? Because there's this one bloke out there. Yeah, we know, Seb. There's this one bloke out there who is fucking nuts, and he decides it will be a great idea to put lead in petrol. That's right. We're talking about leaded gas. No, I'm joking. No. Seriously, no. Okay, the worst thing science has ever discovered was when they realised that jet fuel doesn't burn steel beam,
Melts. Doesn't melt steel
and
beams.
that caused chaos because all of a sudden they realised Osama bin Laden is actually George Bush in a mask. No. Okay, right. Enough
I
joking
did.
around now.
Right. I did see on r/Gunners today. It was like my top 10 favorite celebrity Gunners fans, and at the bottom was Osama bin Laden.
Oh yeah.
He was a good.
It was like
yeah.
it
Yeah,
was.
he was. It's because
When they
recently.
Yeah, when they found him, he was wearing an Ursul shirt.
No, he wasn't.
I know he was.
I believed it for a small second there. I was like, was he? I was like, no, he fucking wasn't.
He had a Wenger out banner in his bedroom.
Also, he wasn't even. Ozil wasn't even at Arsenal at that time. You get your fucking timeline straight, mate.
Mate,
Right.
Nah, I want to start that. I want to start that as a rumours that Osama bin Laden died wearing an Ozil shirt.
You think you're going to start that as a rumour too? Just people in the street.
I don't know.
People
Like,
down the pub.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell
Up
people
on the
that.
credit, your mate Morg told you.
Yeah,
And
my
he
mate Mort
knows.
told me that Osama bin Laden died wearing an Ozil shirt.
Yeah, okay. Right, but anyway, right. Seriously now, that is enough joking around, right? I'm serious Morg time. I have got a pick, and it is a devastating one. But I'm gonna be upfront because this is a bit of honesty from me. I feel like I'm kind of cheating a little bit with this pick. Because I've already covered this pick before on the show. Kinda. Some of the content in this pick I've already discussed. But I picked
We've
this
never had
particular
this before.
subject. I picked this particular subject as a goat when I picked it, which is going to surprise you. You're going to be like, but how are you saying it? You're saying it was the greatest thing of all time then. Now you're saying it's part of your worst goat, worst thing of all time. What's going on? And I don't know whether I'm cheating now or whether I was cheating back then because I wanted to win that GOATS episode. So I deliberately omitted the detail and information that I'm about to cover now because it would have just totally ruined my argument back then.
Did you win the episode?
I can't remember. I'm not sure. I don't think so. So maybe I didn't cheat properly. But anyway,
Okay.
this pick has had incredibly catastrophic consequences for humanity, both in the cost of human lives and also from a more philosophical standpoint and about what it means to be a human. It's also not a story that many people know, and I've had to do a lot of research for this. A lot of black ink, a lot of red tape, hidden government files. You intrigued?
It's clearly a lie.
I'm intrigued about what the punchline is here.
Let's begin. There's no punchline. Our story starts in the late 1960s, the space race. And man is desperate to get to the moon. And in 1969, America finally accomplished their mission. And as we have already established on this show before, in one of the greatest feats of human exploration ever, they managed to land on the moon. Jeremy Clarkson voice, on the moon. As far as the world is concerned, this is a great achievement, nothing more. But what if I told you that there was more? There's a dark side to this story.
The moon. The dark
This
side of the moon.
mission... No, not the dark side. There's a dark side to this story. That's good, Benny.
Yeah, I thought that was what you were doing with that, but
No. There's
Yeah,
a
I
dark
thought
side
that's
to
what
this picture story. That's funny. I came up with that little connection.
sure.
Where am I? Okay, so this mission had a more important purpose, and a discovery was made that would change human history forever. When they landed on the moon, did the whole one small step, quick pap for the cameras bullshit, they turned all that stuff off and they went on a secret reconnaissance mission under the guidance of the US government. And with not a lot of time on their hands, the astronauts headed, I did actually make that joke, to the dark side of the moon. I haven't read this script for a while. That was on purpose. Thank you, Billy, for helping me there. To a specific location, a potential crash site of an alien race. They found the site and they made an incredible discovery. An object, a construct, a ship. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
First contact. They entered the ship, and there, to their horror, they found it. The first alien life this species has ever discovered. Now wait. You're thinking, this is cool. Aliens. Sick! That's wicked. Why is this a woe? Well, what I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. Not all aliens are good. And not only did they discover the
Is this a
alien...
dig at me for being foreign?
No. This is serious.
Okay.
Not only did they discover the alien, they also discovered a weapon which had the potential to destroy our planet and everybody on it. This discovery of alien life on the moon caused... Well, there's no real easy way to say this, but global warfare between aliens...
What are you smoking?
What is going on here? What is going on?
Is this a novel you're writing, or...?
But global warfare between aliens... Right.
What is happening right now?
Right. I'm trying to get my script out. But global warfare between aliens on our planet. And it was horrendous. Chicago, in particular, was completely destroyed. Thousands...
What is going on? What is happening? Chicago.
Thousands of lives lost, buildings completely destroyed, and Kanye was pissed. And I actually know Kanye was pissed because he told me. Me and Kanye West, we go way back. I don't know if I've actually told you the story, but I actually wrote the lyrics for Through the Wire for him. This is true. He rings me up and he's like got embracing and he's like, oh Mork, I like can't speak on that, mate. And I was like, oh whoa, what's going on? And he's like, I need you to write me like a song about like not speaking on that, mate. And I was like, oh, all right, nice one.
You're instantly
Yeah, so I was like, I was like, what would Kanye say if Kanye couldn't say nothing? And I wrote the first draft and it was all like racial stuff and it was all like Hitler stuff. And I sent it to him and he was like, nah, mate, I'm not like on that yet. And I was like, oh, all right, leave that for the future. And then he was just like, oh, no, write me something cool. So I wrote him the thing and he was buzzing. But he was also like, yo, fucking, well, obviously I can't do the impression well, but because he had like a thing on his face, but he was like, mate, fucking Chicago is smash. Have you seen? I was like, bro, I can't believe it. Well, I'll tell you. So the reason that Chicago was completely destroyed was in the search of the weapon that we discovered on the moon. They were the pillars for a space bridge which would bring the alien world to our world, completely destroying the Earth and everybody on it. Completely. Total annihilation.
Wow. Tell me more. That's incredible.
With this weapon. Luckily, human resilience won. And we managed to stop this from happening. With a little help, of course. From our new friends. So yeah, this is clearly the worst scientific discovery of all time. Discovering aliens, making humans realize we are not alone and that there is more out there in the universe, not just us. We are tiny, insignificant specks of dust floating around the cosmos. The sheer terror of that thought, the widespread global war between all nations and aliens, the destruction and leveling of entire cities, countless human lives lost, probably millions of human lives dead. They're all dead now still.
Yeah.
They're all dead. And a near apocalypse. These are all the reasons. These are all the reasons why the scientific discovery of Transformers is the worst of all time.
Right, have you got
What
an
a
actual bit?
fucking...
That's right. When we discovered the Transformers on the moon, that was pretty fucking rough, wasn't it?
Is this the plot to Transformers movie?
No, this is real.
Sorry, I don't want to give too much credit to what you were talking about before, but you've never discussed Transformers before.
Huh? Well,
When did you?
it's never come up. It's about scientific discovery. It's good.
No,
good
but you
opportunity to talk
said
about
I
it.
think I. No. You said I think I've spoken about this before, but I didn't tell the true what happened.
Like the moon landing. Yeah. So when I was saying Neil Armstrong was the greatest lunar explorer, like I wasn't going to be like he was the greatest lunar explorer, but actually they didn't even like look at the moon and shit. They just looked at this alien spaceship and caused
They
all
just
this
discovered
destruction.
aliens. Like, that's
Yeah.
less impressive than walking on the moon, discovering
Yeah,
fucking
because think about
extraterrestrial
it.
life.
What would Seb have said? He'd have been like, "Oh yeah, all well and good discovering the moon. May as well not have even gone because then the aliens came and fucking blew up Chicago and Kanye West was raging."
Why? Sorry, why was Kanye West involved? Was that just like a little brain bit, or was that written in the script?
No, because he called me and was like, he loves Chicago, doesn't he?
I love Chicago.
And he called me and was like, "Bro, have you seen what these robots have done?" And that, and I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?"
These robots have done to Chicago.
Okay, is that it?
What? Are you joking? What more do I need to say? Like,
I mean, something
expect-
real would be a good start.
you expect what? You expect humans when they first discover aliens it to be like a joyous occasion, not warring factions of Transformers on our planet, destroying entire cities, and killing millions of people.
Destroying Chicago. And
Yeah, they
Kanye
destroyed
is
Chicago.
pissed.
Kanye
You won't
is pissed, Seb.
believe how pissed he is.
Transformers have killed way more people than fentanyl.
Oh no! Right. Okay. Now, do you have anything left to say, or is that's it now? That's
I don't know. Ask me a question. We'll see.
So, is this whole load of shit? Is this a sort of clever conversation about how maybe we're pushing too far? Maybe we shouldn't search for alien life because we don't know what it would bring. Is it the conceptual threat of alien life could be the worst discovery of all time?
No, because the episode title is not what could be the worst scientific discovery of all time. The worst scientific discovery of all time was when they decided to go and discover Transformers.
Okay. See, what I feel like there is I put out an olive branch and you set fire to it.
Well, I'm telling the facts, mate. You're just chatting rubbish. Any other questions? Vinny?
Where was Mark Wahlberg in all of this?
Yeah, that's made up. that didn't actually happen.
Mark Wahlberg
So,
is made up.
Well, the thing is, yeah, that was made up by the conspiracy theorists because basically, in their fake story of what actually happened, the Transformers were already on Earth in dinosaur times, right? But that wouldn't make any sense because we actually first discovered them for the first time ever when they were on the moon in 1969. But if they were already here when like dinosaurs were around and that would make no sense. If you were like imagining a stupid story like that, you'd be a fucking idiot to think up a story like that. It doesn't make any sense. What really happened was not Mark Wahlberg and dinosaurs and dinosaur robots, because that's stupid. We found them on the moon.
Right. Okay. Wow. Vinny, do you have any more questions?
Well, Why did they go to the moon?
Why
didn't
did
they
who
just
go to the
Earth?
moon?
The
The Transformers.
Well, because what they think happened was that the the spaceship crashed on the moon by accident or something, but like they had all these pillars to like bring their alien world to another world. So like when they crashed there, they had all these things. It's a bit convoluted. I don't know why, but then they were going to put these pillars on Earth, and they were going to suck Earth or something into there. We were going to like.
In the first dramatic reconstruction of this terrible set of events, I seem to remember that the main I don't want to call him a bad guy because that feels like we're trivializing it. The main
Well, they're all bad aliens, definitely.
well, what about the good aliens?
Well, they still killed loads of people. This is the thing, and that they don't tell you in the media about it. Like, there's this red fella with like blue flames on his side, and that, and everyone's like, "Yo, this lad's sick." But he crashes through buildings, shooting giant laser weapons, blowing the shit out of people. That's not very good, is it?
It's like he might be about to have some sort of seizure.
Then he's just contemplating how the destruction of.
Not
I think Vinny's
not Shartown. Anything but Shartown.
Exactly.
right.
It's
Okay.
horrific. I told you.
But
I told you it was going to get dark.
I thought Megatron was frozen in the ice.
Nah.
You're wrong.
He was, but the reason why he was there was retconned because they actually found the aliens on the moon.
Which film is this?
Huh?
You mean heart? What is Transformers movie are you talking about? What do you mean heart? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
No. I think if you were going to give this horrific tale a movie title, you would probably call it.
Is it Dark of the Moon by any chance?
Dark of the Moon. It's actually the name.
I don't
of
know. I don't
Yeah,
know why
they
you.
don't-
If you were going to call it anything, I don't know why you wouldn't call it Dark Side of the Moon and just Dark of the Moon. That doesn't make actually make any
Yeah.
sense. But
Dark of the Moon.
Right.
God.
Okay. Fucking hell, what a waste of life. Right.
what?
So,
Fentanyl didn't level cities and nearly cause a apocalypse.
It brought in over $1 billion at the box office. That's insane.
what, fentanyl or
Was it worth
Transformers
it?
Dark of the Moon?
What I'm going to say is,
Brought in, to be fair, it's probably quite. A
was
lot.
that found footage worth it? In the end, yes, because Earth was saved. But had it gone the other way,
Okay. So, the two decisions I've got, the two options I've got is fentanyl. Fentanyl, widely thought of as, one of the most invasive and destructive drugs ever conceived. Ruin the lives of millions. Absolutely grim. Or the film Transformers Dark of the Moon, which isn't even the best Transformers movie.
the real discovery of aliens. I think you mean.
Why didn't you just go for the first Transformers movie?
Wasn't as funny. Couldn't do the moon link.
It's like the third Transformers movie. Anyway. Oh, God. Right. Well, I mean, this is just a fucking formality, isn't it? It's obviously going to be... it's obviously going to be dark... It's fucking fentanyl on it, you
What?
loser. It's obviously not going to be Transformers Dark of the Moon. The story. If
I'm fucking out.
Transformers...
I'm out.
if Transformers fell from the moon and wiped Chicago to shreds, A, I'm sure Kanye would be upset, and B, I'm sure we'd all be fucking terrified.
We were.
But it's not happened, has it, Mork? It's a story. Whereas fentanyl is a very real problem. And I do, in a way, I'm annoyed with you. But in another way, I do think the idea that we end this podcast in one of the last 10 episodes of this show ever is fentanyl versus the film Transformers Dark of the Moon.
It's what we set out to do, just these two horrifically different things.
I initially was looking at scientific discoveries, and then I thought, you know what? What would Mork have done in the early days? He'd have been ballsy. He'd have picked Gandalf. So I picked Transformers.
Dark of the Moon. It's a film I've not thought about in 10 years.
How was it only when I said Transformers that you knew it was Transformers?
I knew something was going on. When you said they discovered some aliens on the moon, I was thinking Transformers, but I wasn't 100% sure.
All right. Nice. I wanted it to be a surprise.
Look, obviously fentanyl is the worst scientifically Obviously, fentanyl is the worst scientific discovery of all time. I actually think that genuinely might be the worst scientific discovery of all time. Like, legitimately, I don't know what else there is out there. Closely followed by the film Transformers Dark of the Moon. You know, all I can say to the people listening up to this point is I'm sorry. We will get this shit finished soon.
I think they'll be thoroughly entertained by my Transformers tale. I put a lot of effort into that.
You put a lot of effort into it. That's
hard
not
to tell
good.
The story of Transformers without saying the word Transformers until right at the end.
That takes a lot of effort.
What a waste of life. There's going to be a day when you're sat there on your deathbed and you're going to be thinking, like your child will be holding your hand and it will say, "Daddy, I wish I had a couple more hours with you." And you'll say, "Sorry, I spent them writing the plot of Transformers Dark of the Moon without saying the word Transformers."
No, what he'll say is, "Dad, mate, you remember that sick podcast you made?" I'll be like, "Yeah, mate, yeah." And he'll be like, "Oh, do you want to listen to an episode now as you're about to die? It'd be funny." And I'll be like, "Oh, get that Transformers one on. That one was well funny." Actually, so I think is what you will find.
All right, well, look.
Fine, you want me to be informed and intelligent? I'll see you next week.
And I'll see you next week too. Thanks for listening. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Bye.